exactly is the Cloud Fist
The Destiny Cloud Fist build, man, you have not been watching my videos nearly enough. You call it the 1-1-1 build. I call it the Destiny Cloud Fist build. You know what? Because it's awkward to me to say the word one 3 times in a row. And I think that also came from one of those nights I didn't have nearly enough sleep. So maybe I should just make this a common occurrence, make my own vocabulary
Did you just happen
list.
to have a picture of a cloud and a fist on the side
I
of
don't
your
know,
wall?
but people have been drawing pictures and posting it all over my Facebook, so that's definitely entertaining. Got a good kick out of that. And like you said, there were a bunch of people here with custom shirts made to show their support. So absolutely hilarious. So if you ever hear me say something that doesn't make sense, it's probably just one of my little quirky things. I'll try to explain it for everyone out there. But there we go. It looks like they're getting yeah, he's still actually doing his settings. There we go.
Yep.
So he is now in the game. We're just going to double check really quick to make sure that he is ready.
And we should be able to start very soon.
Yeah, it should be. And again, I mean, it's been a couple minutes, but the map is Delta Quadrant, which again is that 4-player map. And it's a map that does allow for heavy macro games. But okay, so both players, looks like HuK's ready. So still going to wait here on QXC.
Just want to go ahead and get confirmation from all players before we start the game, because there's always that kind of fluke that can happen. Oh, I wasn't ready, and then they got to restart the whole thing again. Oof, takes forever. So.
All right, now we are ready. So we are going to go ahead and get this game started. The countdown has begun. This is the final countdown before this epic match here between these two players. I cannot wait. There is definitely huge hype on this match. And so now we are going to finally get this underway. I think that this is one of the matchups that a lot of people have been talking about in the forums that they really want to see, because I mean a lot of people like these players, and apparently the game has been paused now, so we'll have to see what the issue is. It looks like the referee is over there, so the game has been paused. But regardless, we can't say enough, these two players are extremely epic, and they definitely I don't even know who to predict here, simply because both players are so strong and they want to take this for sure.
It's going to come down to their confidence, and because these players live off their confidence, they believe that they're the best of the best, the cream of the crop, and whoever can shake that foundation is going to take a lead in this game, I believe. There's actually a huge crowd around QXC and HuK as they're playing right now. This is pretty much the highlight match of this entire round. I don't think anyone has casted any game so far of QXC or HuK so far.
I don't believe so, and if they did, we definitely missed it. But the cool thing about this matchup is that these two players are the ones that a lot of people wanted to see. And so when we're first seeing them, they are going head to head. So I cannot wait. They're actually sitting right behind where our cameras are, so we'll actually be able to see them like the whole time. So definitely look to see their reactions. And apparently his computer's on fire or something. Not sure exactly what's going on there.
There's smoke coming out right now.
As there are a bunch of people gathering around trying to get this fixed up. So we'll see if they are ready now, as they are going to be trying to queue up the game.
And the game is underway right now. All right, so here we go. Finally, after all the delay, looks like HuK going to be spawning as the blue Protoss at the top left-hand corner here on this map, and his opponent, of course, QXC, spawning as the red Terran. Terran versus Protoss here on Delta Quadrant. And let's go ahead and talk. I've been talking about this all day long. Here is the backdoor expansion that is covered by the rocks. A little bit more difficult to hold, but for the Terran players, likewise on the other side of the map, easy to access to as long as you can kill these rocks. Now, this is where the Protoss player can place a proxy pylon. If they put it here, they don't need vision of this area. They can warp in Zealots, warp in Stalkers, bring them around here, and they can flank into the main base. This is something that every Terran player or even Zerg needs to be careful about when they're playing against Protoss.
It's definitely, you do have to utilize everything you can on the map. I mean, we've seen it on maps like Lost Temple, where you abuse that high ground advantage at that natural. Something very, very similar here. And what's cool about these games is a lot of the top tier players they research these maps, they study them, they watch as many replays as they can, and they try and keep those tricks in their back pocket to utilize them, because not everyone can know everything about every map. And so if you can just use those little trick cards and not release that information to basically as few people as possible, and then really surprise your opponent with something like that, it can definitely, I mean, you can just win a game based on the fact that your opponent had not seen that strategy before. So right now, it does look like QXC doing a very standard opener here, and I would expect to see the same thing from HuK, as he should be just throwing down his geyser right about now.
It's interesting to note that HuK actually went scouting cross position first. He didn't decide to go over to the bottom left or top. Instead, he went straight across the map, and that is, of course, by doing that, you can access the Xel'Naga Watchtower on the way. So that's some quick access to the center scouting location, and that's just a preference really by player, but it looks like HuK is going to make his way into QXC's base. QXC opening standard, like you said, 12 racks, 13 gas. Over on the other side, we have HuK opening standard as well. It looks like he got his assimilator just a little bit earlier, so we'll see what that transpires aspires to.
HuK is going to actually be getting his pylon here before Cybernetics Core. That's really just a personal preference, as some players will get that Cybernetics Core out before that pylon. You just got to be careful not to supply block yourself with the second pylon being delayed, as his second gas is going down right now. So I've been watching HuK's games, and I don't think I've seen him do crazy builds in any of the games I was able to spectate over his shoulder. And so I would expect, at least as far as HuK is concerned, to go pretty standard builds here to try and beat QXC straight up. QXC, though, I have seen some pretty creative games from him, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what he can pull out of his pocket and start throwing it towards HuK.
QXC right now is getting the concussive shells out of this first barracks inside the main base. He's also getting a Marauder as well, so it looks like he is going to be focusing on Marauder heavy in the beginning. A great unit of choice to deal with the gateway units. HuK, meanwhile, has not revealed his tech. He needs to kill off this scouting SCV before he can throw down the next building, whether it be a Stargate, whether it be 3 more gateways. It's unsure right now, and QXC wants to keep this SCV alive for as long as possible. Notice he didn't run it into the mineral line because it could have gotten surrounded there, and it looks like he is going to scoot his way outside. Meanwhile, Probe getting chased out by the Marauder as well. And this is great for QXC, denying all potential scouting, and it looks like QXC is going to pull his scout away as well. Let's see what HuK decides to go for on his tech route.
Both players were able to save their scouting workers, which a lot of times players think they need to keep it in there and sacrifice it. That is not the case here, as there is a Stargate on the way actually now for HuK. Where is he hiding it? Here it is at this location. Again, if we do see a Reaper out here for scouting, which is pretty common on this map to get a delayed Reaper since you can scout easily, he may spot this, but for right now, he is not going to. There is a small battle here at the entrance of HuK's base. I don't think his Stalker's going to get away. No, he does barely just get it away. Do note, though, that since HuK opted to get a Zealot first, he is not going to have as many range units as usual, which is exactly why he's going to have to pull off these probes, but there's nothing reinforcing these probes, as the Stalker does go down. One probe has already died, so the early aggression from QXC definitely paying off, as another probe has gone down. They are going to trap this Marauder in here. He's going to have to walk through a maze of probes to get out of here alive. Don't know if he is going to make it. No, he is not there. So QXC was able to kill several probes. At the same time, though, he is delaying the mining from HuK, and HuK did opt to get an early Zealot. Most Protoss will get a Stalker first, but he's definitely confident here, and he needs to try and save that Zealot, and this Marauder is just being very, very pesky.
QXC here with great control, great attack, going in there and taking out several workers. I think if we take a look at the income tab, though, HuK is back on par with the enemy Terran. He's at 23 to 24 harvesters. HuK, though, is now chrono boosting out 2 Void Rays. This is the real threat, and QXC has no idea about this proxy Stargate. He doesn't know that this is coming. He went into the base, and I don't think he saw the second gateway. Yes, he did. So all he knows right now is it's a pretty standard build. He doesn't see anything unusual. He's not even clued into the fact that there are 2 Void Rays just hiding over here at the natural expansion, and very soon those Void Rays are going to run in here and do a lot of damage. QXC is pumping out Marines out of this barracks with the reactor, which is great, but he needs more Marines to deal with these Void Rays, especially if they charge up on this refinery or any kind of building. They're just going to decimate everything that QXC has, so look for that to do a lot of damage.
Right now, QXC, as you said, has only seen those 2 gateways. The reason I mentioned that again is because usually Protoss is either going to go 4 gateways or 2 gateways and a tech building. So he doesn't know exactly what that tech building is, but he is going to, he knows that there's something. So do note that the Void Rays have actually charged up on the rocks, and he actually is able to get at this entrance right here. He'll be able to kill his bunker. There's 100 minerals gone. A couple Marines do die instantly, and so now QXC is going to have to back up. Although his positioning is not very good, as the Marines, well, now they can all fire at once on that ramp, but now both Void Rays have gotten into the main. There is absolutely nothing here to deal with it. Only Marines. I do not see a factory or starport anywhere on the map, which is exactly the kind of situation that HuK wants to find himself in with these Void Rays. One Void Ray does get a little bit low. Do note how he's microing it back, but just enough to keep it alive, as well as keep the charge, because the fully charged Void Rays just do more damage. Do note another Void Ray is on the way, and now HuK is pushing out with 3 Stalkers and 4 Zealots. This is getting extremely more and more difficult for QXC to deal with right now.
QXC here is in a lot of trouble. There are 3 charged up Void Rays inside his base in the air, just pounding away everything. All QXC has are Marauders, but the Stalkers and Zealots coming in. QXC forced the GG out. Very fast GG for QXC. HuK playing brilliantly there, hiding that Stargate and pumping out dual Void Rays, charging them on the rocks and then running in, and that right there was the real threat. QXC never scouted that out. He went in and he saw 2 gateways. He thought that the Protoss player was playing relatively standard, didn't see anything to clue him into the fact that there were Stargates coming, and then all of a sudden those nasty Void Rays up in the air just destroying and demolishing the Terran base.